everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the M4 Mac Mini and compare it against the M4 MacBook Pro that just came out and see which particular Mac is the better one for you. Now, I will probably tell you, in my personal opinion, the better Mac is probably going to be the MacBook Pro, but it is significantly more expensive. So, does it make more sense to go and spend more money on the MacBook Pro, or should you save some money and buy a Mac Mini? We'll take a look at all those things throughout this whole entire video. But first things first, if you do want to pick up either this Mac Mini or this MacBook Pro, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of these Macs, a really big thing to keep in mind here is that these devices are very different from one another. So the Mac Mini is basically a desktop. It's a machine that you put on your desk and you use it, and that's kind of it. With the MacBook Pro, this is a machine that you can plug into your monitors just like the Mac Mini, or you can take it to go. It's very portable, and you can actually use it when you're going places. The Mac Mini is also very portable. It's a very small machine, but you can't necessarily use it when you're going places. If you're traveling, you can't just use it on an airplane unless you bring the power adapter, you bring a HDMI cord or USB Type-C port, and then you bring a monitor with you. So it's not really as portable. I think a lot of people know that, but just understand that with the MacBook Pro, yes, it's more expensive, but you are getting a display, you're getting a keyboard, you're getting a trackpad, and that's kind of really what you're paying for here in this particular situation, and it's a little bit more powerful. Now with the Mac Mini, this is a $599 device. So with this device, you're getting a standalone desktop. In the box, this is confusing for some people. You really only get the Mac Mini and the power adapter. If you're buying the base model, it doesn't come with any accessories. So you have to remember to buy that Magic Keyboard or keyboard in general and a mouse. So keep that in mind. Looking at the outside, you have the Apple logo at the top. On the front side, you're getting 2 USB Type-C ports and a headphone jack, which is really nice. And on the back side, you're getting either 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports if you're getting the M4 model, or 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports if you're getting the M4 Pro model. So keep that in mind. A big advantage, I would say, for the Mac Mini is that you actually do get, not only an HDMI port, but that gigabit Ethernet or 10 gigabit Ethernet port. That is actually a nice thing to have there. But on the M4 MacBook Pro, what's interesting is that this thing is giving you a little bit more on the outside in terms of the display. So this thing's giving you the display, which is nice. You're getting less ports overall, so you're only getting 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports. So if you're comparing the base model M4 MacBook Pro, M4 Pro MacBook Pro to the base model Mac Mini, well, you are getting already Thunderbolt 5 ports without having to go and upgrade. On top of that, you're still getting an HDMI port. You're losing the 10 gigabit Ethernet port, so you're not getting that there, but you are getting an SD card slot inside of the M4 Pro MacBook Pro, which I think is a very, very big deal. Being able to go through and get that type of capability in and of itself is a very, very big deal for me. And I do think that in and of itself makes me feel a lot more comfortable basically buying something like the MacBook Pro, the M4 Pro MacBook Pro. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to some other things around these devices too, another thing you have to remember is the capability behind these particular devices. And like I mentioned, you are basically getting a device on the M4, MacBook Pro, whether you're getting the M4 model, the M4 Pro, or the M4, whatever other option you're getting, the M4 Pro or Pro Max, I will tell you, these things are very powerful Macs. So you're not necessarily going to feel like you're missing out on too much here, even comparing the base models. But like I said, that is kind of just one thing to kind of keep in mind there. Now, if we're comparing the price tags, there's a lot of ways you can spec these things out. The base M4 MacBook Pro is $1,599. So basically $1,000 more than the M4 Mac Mini. Now you can spec these things out. The maxed out M4 Pro MacBook Pro you can buy out, that's going to cost more money. The M4 Pro and M4 Max models are going to be more expensive as well. But if we're kind of comparing the base models, the M4 model and the M4 standard Mac Mini, there is a lot of overlap here. So for starters, they're both probably going to be lasting for the same amount of time in terms of software. So if you're looking at the M4 chipsets up between both, they're going to be exactly the same type of performance. Now, if you're getting the M4 Pros and the Maxes, then that's going to change a lot of things out. But I would probably say the maxed out Mac Mini isn't necessarily going to be as powerful as a maxed out, MacBook Pro. So the MacBook Pro can go up to the M4 Max model, and that is an insanely powerful chipset, right? That's insanely powerful. You can get more RAM inside of that thing. But if you're looking at the best value per dollar, it really depends. So if you're looking at the M4 MacBook Pro, right? That is $1,000 more than the M4 Mac Mini. But with that extra $1,000, you're getting a really nice display, right? That in and of itself is a really big deal. And you're getting the keyboard and the trackpad. And you're getting a battery you can take it places, it's portable, for an extra $1,000. Now, $1,000 is a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. But look at the other side. With the M4 Mac Mini, if you are just buying this Mac, you have to at least buy a keyboard and a mouse. And you don't have to buy the magic ones like from Apple, but you're going to have to buy those. So that's already a little bit more money, right? Call it $100. On top of that, you're going to have to go through and buy a monitor. Now, if you already have a monitor, you already have your desktop set up, then you won't have to spend money. So I think the Mac Mini might be the better choice if you want a standalone desktop, like an at-home desktop. But if you haven't bought a monitor yet, you're going to have to spend the money on a monitor. Now, if you're somebody who actually likes having a laptop and it makes more sense for you because you're going to be traveling, you need to go and kind of unplug it and be able to work on it when you're at an airport or a library or you're at your friend's house or whatever, then I think the MacBook Pro makes a lot more sense from a portability aspect because you're already getting that display built in. It's not a big display, but it's still a pretty good display. With the Mac Mini, on the other hand, this thing, it's cheaper. And if you already have a monitor and everything, then just, get this one. But if you don't already have it, you're going to have to spend the money on that type of, on those type of accessories. So that's kind of the best way I can kind of explain it there. But when it comes down to the performance, the base M4 model, right? So I'm just going to start off with the base M4 model. The M4 Mac Mini, the M4 MacBook Pro gets 10-core CPU, 10-core GPU, and up to 32 gigabytes of RAM and up to 2 terabytes of storage. Where the M4 Mac Mini and the M4 Pro maxes out at 14-core CPU, up to 20-core GPU, and up to 64 gigabytes of RAM and up to 8 terabytes of storage. So on paper, if we're comparing the maxed out M4 Pro Mac Mini to an M4 MacBook Pro, the maxed out one you can get, then technically the Mac Mini, I would say, is going to be more powerful, right? But it's going to be more in line with the same price there because there's really only one model of the MacBook Pro, the M4 model. There's not really too many different chipsets you can buy, although you can max out the RAM and the storage. However, if you're looking at the M4 Pro models, the M4 Pro MacBook Pro and the M4 Max MacBook Pro is a more powerful device than the Mac Mini, than the M4 Pro Mac Mini. So if we're looking at the M4 Pro models and they're the same chipsets, but the M4 Max can get up to 16-core CPU and up to 40-core GPU and up to 128 gigabytes of RAM, effectively doubling the GPU and doubling the RAM as well. So this in and of itself is another very big thing to keep in mind, because if you're going through and getting that type of device, like I said before, it might make more sense to go and buy, a MacBook Pro if you want more power, but if you are okay with the power structure, if you're okay with getting a cheaper Mac, I think a Mac Mini is a really good value per dollar. I think these things make a lot of sense to go and buy. If you already have the mouse and the keyboard, and if you already have a really good monitor, then I think it makes a lot of sense to go and buy it. But if you want a little bit of a more portable machine, then clearly the MacBook Pros are the better one for you. But I do think you can also buy like an M2 MacBook Pro, like one of those models, and I think you can still get a really good, powerful machine from those models as well. Like I genuinely think those are very, very good Macs, and I would highly recommend buying those particular MacBooks when it comes down to it as well. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.